Have you ever wondered why someone should hire a private investigator if they suspect their spouse or significant other of infidelity? If you said yes, then this video is for you. Welcome to the PI Guide, tips, tricks, and advice for professional private investigators just like you. My name is John Morris. I am a licensed professional private investigator in Colorado. Cheating spouses and infidelity cases can be arguably some of the more abundant cases for private investigators out there today. And there is a close crossover in how these cases are handled to workers' comp, slip and fall, and other injury-related surveillance cases. But should someone even consider hiring a private investigator if they suspect their spouse or significant other of cheating? Let's break these down into two categories and take a deeper look. The first category is infidelity or cheating by what we often refer to as someone's significant other or partner. So this would be an individual whom the client is not legally married to. But even given that they never were legally married, there may be legal considerations to keep in mind. Now, let me first state, I am not an attorney, nor do I play one on YouTube. This video, nor any of my videos, should be considered as legal advice. Rather, they are my own personal opinion based on my experiences. Okay, there is this thing we often hear about called common law marriage. A common law marriage is a legally recognized marriage between two individuals who have not gone through the formalities or legalities of marriage. But the individuals have had certain behaviors such as cohabitation, sharing of expenses and debt, and other considerations. Now this is very specific to the 8 or so states that I found that have common law marriage laws on the books. Those states are Colorado, Iowa, Kansas, Montana, New Hampshire, South Dakota, Texas, and Utah. Each of those states has specific laws that outline what requirements there are for a common law marriage. So, if you are in one of those states, you would need to reference those laws to decide if a common law marriage is in place, and if so, then it would be covered as a marriage in this video. Now, for those other relationships with significant others involved, should someone hire a private investigator to determine whether infidelity is occurring? To answer this, you need to first answer another question. What will you gain by having this knowledge? If there are children involved, shared assets, or other shared financial resources or liabilities, then it may be of benefit from a legal standpoint to have evidence proving that infidelity is occurring. Now again, this is going to be state and case dependent. Many states count infidelity as a huge no-no in a marriage or other relationship. But on the flip side, many states do not weigh infidelity very heavy at all. Colorado is one of those states that does not put a lot of weight into infidelity matters, as it is a no-fault divorce state. So basically anyone can divorce anyone for whatever reason or for no reason. I would recommend that anyone who has questions about this regarding their case or their client's case to seek legal advice from a skilled attorney in your particular state. Many times, though, it is just a matter of needing to know. Many times we get calls and they just need to know. They need confirmation of whether it is or is not occurring. From my experience, as a general rule, but not in all cases to be sure, if the client thinks infidelity is occurring, it probably is occurring. But if the client wants us to find out, then we will by all means work our best to see what is happening. Now, if you're going to hire a PI to do this, make sure they have a great deal of experience in working infidelity and cheating spouse investigations. Most of the time, surveillance is the route to take in these investigations. And if the surveillance investigator is not skilled or is not familiar with the geographical area, it could lead to disaster. We go to great lengths in our domestic surveillance cases to not get burned or make the subject suspicious. Now, obviously, we cannot guarantee we will not get burned, not lose our subject, or make the subject suspicious, but we do our best to ensure a safe and productive investigation is conducted. One of the worst outcomes is to prove that nothing is happening, but then get burned on surveillance. It will not take the subject long to figure out who is having them surveilled, and that could hurt the relationship even more. Now, regarding cases where the couple are legally married, common law or through the normal marriage avenues, is there any gain in those cases for someone to hire a private investigator to see if infidelity is occurring? As stated before, in some states, like here in Colorado, the fact that infidelity is occurring may not have any outcome on the divorce itself. But it may have some influence on things such as child custody and splitting of assets and debts, things like that. Again, seek legal advice from a competent attorney as to how this may affect your case. I am not a legal expert, nor is this legal advice. From my experience, though, many times the court may consider the infidelity if certain things are occurring because of the infidelity. For instance, if the subject committing infidelity is racking up a great deal of expenses, hotel rooms, second homes, additional vehicles, things like that, then the court may consider that when splitting out the debts. As well, if the infidelity is occurring in the presence of children, or if children are being placed in unsafe conditions, things like that, it may affect child custody allocations. Identifying the other person and conducting a background can be of great benefit to the case as well. If the subject is seeing an ex-felon with a long rap sheet, that may help in child custody cases. Or if the cheating spouse is caught often using drugs, excessive alcohol abuse, or other dangerous activities during their escapades, it may be very helpful. Now, one thing to keep in mind, folks, any good PI will not, I repeat, will not provide identifying information of subjects involved in these matters which the client is not already privy to. I always suggest to work with the client's attorney directly if at all possible. This information can go to the attorney as confidential work product. Then, if the attorney needs to subpoena that person for testimony or have them questioned or whatever, they have the information. But if you, the investigator, find out that Bob, your client's husband, is having an affair with Jane Doe, and you tell your client who she is, where she lives, or other personal identifying information, you have now probably placed Jane Doe in danger. Not to mention, you have probably broken some laws regarding your private investigator's license, and even if your state does not have licensing, you are probably violating some other laws or regulations. The last thing I ever want to do is wake up in the morning, turn on the news, or grab the newspaper and find out that my client's spouse and the person they were involved with were killed the night before by my client. This has happened, folks. It happens more time than people believe. Maybe it does not always end up in a murder case, but many times it becomes assault, attempted murder, stalking, or other forms of criminal and violent behavior. Even in marriage cases, many times the client just needs to know, yes or no, is it happening or is it not happening? I have had cases, though, where the answer was simply no, it is not happening, and the client didn't believe it. Not that they questioned our investigation or the outcome of the investigation, rather they just took it as they didn't do anything this time. An example of a case was one we had a while back where the client was adamant that her husband was coming here with their kids on a mountain getaway trip and would most definitely be meeting up with his girlfriend. We had to work the case with multiple operatives as it consisted of a ton, and I mean a whole lot of foot surveillance and stationary foot surveillance on a ski resort up in the mountains. We also needed to cover it from early morning hours to late night hours, and to make things even more difficult, we didn't know where they were staying for sure, so we had to pick up a tail from one of those small mountain airports as they were flying in on a private jet. We worked that case for an entire week, folks. It was one of the most arduous and difficult cases I ever worked. We had so much video you wouldn't believe it. They were heavily active all day, every day, always doing something. In the end, we pulled it off without a hitch. No one was ever suspicious of us, and we got many hours of video of our subject and his kids. We got video of him taking the kids to ski lessons. We got video of him spending time with each kid one-on-one. We got video of him dining out 3 meals a day with the kids and taking them for ice cream, sodas, and all kinds of other fun activities like hiking, shopping, you name it. We got tons of video of our subject being a pretty darn good parent the entire time, and he never once met up with anyone, acted flirty towards anyone, or displayed any suspicious activity. When it was all done, the client just said, well, you can't win them all. I guess he didn't do anything this time. Yep, folks, you can't win them all. There will be some cases you work where the client doesn't get the expected outcome. Okay, the big question, should someone hire a private investigator to conduct surveillance if they think their spouse or significant other is cheating? Well, folks, it all depends. All of the pros and cons must be weighed out and considered to make that decision. Hey, here are 2 more videos that I made just for you. And remember, folks, remember, stay safe out there.